Thank you for that lovely introduction, Madame Toastmaster. I'm not allowed to smile too much because my speech today is bad news. So I'm going to try to get in a very serious tone right now. It's very hard to. It's hard to when it's about a refrigerator, but my refrigerator is sick. I'm going to first describe the problem. What is the problem? The symptoms that are happening of my refrigerator. I'm then going to describe the root cause of this horrible bad news. And then I'm going to describe a solution. And if I have time, I'm going to mention how this is an actual conspiracy that affects thousands of refrigerators worldwide. So first of all, what is the problem with my refrigerator? For about a year or so, my refrigerator at home, we have a nice stainless steel refrigerator. It's called the Whirlpool Gold. It's probably really expensive. I didn't buy it because when we moved in, it was already there. But this refrigerator has had a lot of sickness in it for the last little while. Because if the top of the refrigerator, it's one of the old style ones, the freezer is in the top part. And then below the freezer is the main cooling area for your vegetables, your seafood, things like that. The problem is that for about a year, every week, a large amount of water would leak from the freezer compartment down through the holes into the main part of the refrigerator. And this water would continue leaking, and I'd clean it up and it would leak again every week. It would keep leaking. The problem was the mold would start growing on the walls and the floor. The drawers would fill up with water. The vegetables sitting in the drawers would get all soggy and moldy because of the water, and it was just totally gross. What makes matters worse is that this refrigerator no longer could keep it cool. The temperature kept rising in the refrigerator compartment. The freezer was okay, it was happily freezing away, but the lower section was very warm and it just was not doing its job. So I posted on Facebook like, hey friends, I need your help. My Whirlpool Gold is leaking. And that was about a year ago. And someone who said, I had a Whirlpool Gold, it did exactly the same thing. So I thought, well, this is horrible. So I went on Google and looked at, and I found the answer to why it was happening. So the next part of my speech, I'm going to say what was actually going on with my refrigerator to make it have all this misbehavior. The problem with the refrigerator was that in most modern refrigerators, the freezer compartment will automatically go through a defrosting cycle every week or every 2 weeks. And that melts all the ice, and the water in the top compartment is supposed to drain through the draining pan and the hole at the back of the refrigerator, draining down into the evaporation pan at the bottom. But because the freezer is really cold, a lot of ice started blocking that hole for the drain. So can you see what's happening? When the defrosts again, all this water suddenly appears, it has nowhere to go, and so it starts going down the holes that the cold air is supposed to go down, blocking the holes and dripping onto the food. So this is what's happening, and I thought this is really the bad news. And if you have a refrigerator that leaks, it's probably the same problem is happening to your refrigerator. And this affects thousands and thousands of refrigerators. There's a YouTube video online that has around 30,000 views, and it's this guy explaining this problem and saying, like, every 6 months I have to pour hot water down my refrigerator at the back to unclog the drain hole. This is annoying because every 6 months he has to take everything out of the refrigerator, pour hot water down the back, and then hopefully you can also try using a clothes hair dryer, drying the water. So that I don't want to do this every 6 months. It's a lot of work, and it means we have to like get rid of all our food every 6 months, throw it out. So that's not good. So the final part of my speech, I'm going to talk about the solution that we found for this refrigerator. It's amazing. Does anyone have a suggestion before I go on? Any suggestions how to fix this problem permanently? Yes? New fridge. New fridge. You know how much that would cost? This is stainless steel Whirlpool Gold. It's probably going to cost me like $3 grand.
Government grant system replaces your fridge.
Government grants.
Yeah.
Government grants for moderate income people. Yes, yes.
Lower the temperature or raise the temperature.
Raise the temperature. Possibly, possibly.
Is there a warranty?
Warranty is 1 year, and the fridge is 10 years old. I thought of calling a repair person. I actually called like the Totem Appliance Repairs. I asked them like, how much would it cost to come out and fix their fridge? And they said, we're going to charge you $100 just for him to come to your house. If it's any more repairs, it will be additionally like $300. I'm like, oh no, that's not good. I was about to call him, and then I was like, my partner was like, what? Check YouTube. Maybe someone has a solution. So I Googled like Whirlpool Gold refrigerator solution. And this guy, who's like from the US somewhere, has the solution. And all you need to do is get a $3 spindle of copper wire that you get at the craft store or at Home Depot. And you attach a bit of the copper wire to the heating element in the freezer. And what does copper wire do? It conducts heat. So you stick the end of that copper wire down the drain hole. And so that when the heating element turns on, it will melt the ice and it won't clog the hole. So that's it. And so that's the good news. The bad news was the problem. The good news is that now this is the solution. And it's really easy to do. It's cheap. It costs $3 to get copper wire and install it in that little thing. And I did that yesterday. And it was marvelous. And the fridge is now working extremely well. And now I don't think I'll have to worry about the dripping of the water, the raising of the temperature, and the gurgling and the mold. It's going to be all gone, and my fridge will be good for hopefully another 10 years. So that's the good news. But one final note, I don't think this is right that the refrigerator company, Whirlpool, is not taking responsibility for this problem. That's why it's a conspiracy, and that's why I'm making a YouTube video that explains it more clearly how to fix it. I'll turn it back to our Toastmaster. Thanks a lot.